Welcome back to Brit Rants. And the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, has released its latest forecast. And what they are telling us is this: that under Rachel Reeves, the UK's tax burden is going to hit 42.1% of GDP by 2030. That is 4 years' time, right? That is up from 37.6% when Labour took power in 2024, a rise of 4.5 percentage points in under a decade. So let me just put that in plain English, because I really want you to get the feel of this. For every single pound earned in Britain, 42% of that is taken by the government and spent in the state sector. On what? On what? What are we getting in return for this? Because, you can look at Scandi countries, they've got high taxes, particularly Denmark, but their public services are absolutely superb. We don't get anything for it. Please tell me if you think I'm mistaken here. So nearly half of everything you earn is going in tax. And the total bill, an extra 130 billion in taxes every single year since Labour got in. That's $4,500 per household per year gone. Now, here's where it gets properly insane. That rise is happening almost 3 times faster than in France. France, for goodness sake, the country we spent decades saying is hopelessly overtaxed. What about Japan? What about Canada? Well, their tax burdens are all forecast to fall. The US is rising by a measly 0.9%. And us, we are rocketing faster than Pakistan, faster than Egypt, countries that are literally on IMF bailout programs, right? We are taxing our people faster than countries that the IMF has to rescue financially. Before I get into the detail of where all this money is going, and trust me, when I tell you, you're going to be absolutely raging, smash the like, hit subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your notifications. Now let's talk about how she's doing this. Because Rachel Reeves hasn't done one visible tax rise that everyone could see coming. Oh no, that'd be far too honest, wouldn't it? Instead, it's a stealth raid, bragging they're pushing wages up, but freezing tax thresholds so that as your wages do go up, more of your money gets dragged into higher tax bands without her ever having to admit she's raised your taxes. And then a £25 billion hit on employers' national insurance. You might think, well, that's businesses paying, doesn't affect me. Well, think again, because if it costs your employer more to have you on the payroll, do you honestly think they're going to give you a pay rise, take on new staff, invest in growth? No, they're not. That cost comes straight out of your wages and your job security. And we can see the damage already, because since Labour came to power, 320,000 more people are unemployed. Youth unemployment is at 16%. 16% of young people in this country with nothing, no job, no prospects, no hope, nothing. This is apparently what investing in working people actually looks like. And do you remember what they promised before the election? Hand on heart, they would not raise taxes on working people. Well, the IMF has just confirmed they've broken that promise so spectacularly that we're now the fastest taxing country on the face of planet Earth. Not even Europe, not even in the G7, on planet Earth. Shadow Chancellor Mel Stride said it plainly. He said that Rachel Reeves said she wouldn't tax working people, but she's delivering the fastest rise in the tax burden of any major economy. It's reckless and it's totally unsustainable. Let's have a look at the lies and the gaslighting that's become pretty synonymous with the people in number 10 at the moment.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I have one final decision to take on tax today. The previous government froze income tax and national insurance thresholds in 2021, and then they did so again after the mini-budget. Extending their threshold freeze for a further 2 years raises billions of pounds. Money to deal with the black hole in our public finances and repair our public services. Having considered this issue closely, I have come to the conclusion that extending the threshold freeze would hurt working people. It would take more money out of their payslips. I'm keeping every single promise on tax that I made in our manifesto. So there will be no extension of the freeze in income tax and national insurance thresholds beyond the decisions by the previous government. From 2028-29, personal tax thresholds will be uprated in line with inflation once again. When it comes to choices on tax, this government chooses to protect working people every single time. Madam Deputy Speaker, these are the choices I have made to restore economic stability and to protect working people.
Did you catch that? Because that, my friends, is what gaslighting looks like, plain and simple. She stands there talking about difficult decisions and fiscal responsibility. All the while, the IMF is simultaneously publishing data confirming she's taxing us faster than they do in Egypt. She is, through choice, hammering living standards, pushing up unemployment, and basically blaming, as usual for this government, everyone but herself. And where's all this cash going anyway? Here's a number to get your head around. The welfare budget, benefits, universal credit, the lot is £338 billion a year. Do you know what else costs around 300 billion? Total income tax receipts. That's right. Every single penny that working people in this country pay in income tax is now being swallowed up whole by the welfare budget Labour refuses to cut. And since Labour was elected, by the way, 1.5 million more people have been added to universal credit. That's an absolutely bonkers number. As Kemi Badenoch put it, this government would rather fund welfare than defence. And she's right, because the welfare budget is expanding and the defence budget isn't. It's not rocket science. And it's expanding at a rate that is simply mathematically unsustainable. All the while, our armed forces are on their knees and being witch hunted by this government over the Northern Ireland debacle, which is another story entirely. So here basically is what I think you need to sit with today, because this is really bigger than Rachel Reeves. This is bigger than both of her budgets, because a new analysis has revealed something that should embarrass every single person in this government. If the United Kingdom was a US state, just one of 50 American states, we would be the poorest. One of the richest nations in the history of civilization, the country that industrialized the world, and we are poorer per person than 50 states in America. And what does Labour's answer look like? More tax, more state, more spending, more welfare. It's a recipe for low growth and decline, a road to absolute nowhere. Because here is the economic reality, and you don't have to be an economist to understand this. If you tax businesses into the ground, they don't invest. They don't hire. They leave. And if you tax high earners hard enough, and let's be honest, we already do, why in God's name would they stay? Why wouldn't they just go to Dubai? Genuinely, why not? Lower taxes, better weather, you can keep what you earn. And the people who do stay, the ordinary working people who can't just pick up and leave, they carry the can. They carry the entire weight of it. They always do. The just amount managings, the middle earners, people who at one time were called the middle class, but are now well and truly working class. There are two phrases you used to hear all the time in this country: earn your pay, earn your keep. The idea that you contribute, that you work, that you graft, that you pull your weight. You barely hear those phrases anymore. And I don't think it's a coincidence. What about you? So basically, Rachel Reeves is not a competent chancellor. She's an ideologue. She believes, truly believes, that the state should be bigger, that tax should be higher, and that working people exist to fund it all. She made promises to business and the British people that she clearly had zero intention of keeping. And the IMF, the institution that bails out failing economies, has confirmed what we already knew. This woman is taking more money out of your pocket faster than any chancellor in living memory, faster than anywhere else in the world. And if we carry on down this road, we're going to flatline, not for a year, not for a parliament, for a generation or more. She needs to go. Starmer needs to go. In fact, the whole sorry lot of them, in my opinion, need to go. But we know that that won't happen, don't we? So instead, we shout about it, we share it, we refuse to let them quietly rob us blind. That's it for this video. Don't forget to hit subscribe, smash the like button, and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you never miss another video. See you soon.